Hi everybody, my name is SHANTH ENJETI and you're watching SHANTH ENJETI Art. I wanted to let everybody know about the SHANTH ENJETI Art TeePublic store. I've updated the site with some new designs, including one of my favorites and one of your favorites as well, the Made with Liberty in the USA. That is available to get on a t-shirt for all of you guys who've wanted that for a very long time, as well as the Nosfero logo t-shirt, the SHANTH ENJETI Art crest t-shirt, which I love, the Speakeasy logo. So there's a bunch of new stuff there in the shop. Every bit of support you guys give this channel, whether it's my channel members, thank you again, or sending the super chats, buying the t-shirts, every bit helps me to do what I do, and I thank you guys so much for doing what you do. As always, speak easy, stay gold, keep the faith, and peace, because that is what Shanth means. Thank you, everybody. Now on with the show. Hello all, and welcome to Shanth ENJETI Art. I am, of course, Shanth ENJETI. It is great to see you guys here. I want to see who we've got all in the chat, but yeah, it's an afternoon stream. My sleep schedule has been absolutely crazy, but I'm feeling much better, aside from the fact that, you know, for all I know, I may have probably, maybe not, put a hole in my stomach with the Advil I took when I was sick the other week. So what are you gonna do? Things happen, but also let me just say, there are some great people here in the chat. I am so excited to see you guys. We have got 40% Zed in the house. It is great to see you, 40% Zed. We have got channel member Crypt Walker. I need to make Crypt Walker shirts, although we don't know how that would go. I don't want you guys to get killed out in public. Cranberry Langers here in the house. We have got the Cryptwalker Prime, Stephen Rockwood Drawing in the house. It is great to see you. We got my main man, John, in the house. We got Mr. Monkey Boy 1969 in the house. We have got channel member Paulus Arts Crypt Walker. It is great to see you. We've got Crenshaw FAO. It is good to see you. That is absolutely right. You have got this from the beginning. And it's great to see you. We have got Ziggs, formerly Hostman Socrates, in the house. It is great to see you, Ziggs. How are you doing this fine morning? We've got Tammy D in the house. Tammy D, how the heck are you? It's great to see you this fine afternoon. And of course, channel member Cryptwalker Mark's Music Obsession in the house. It is great to see you, my friend. Channel member Mighty Geek Studios is here. Who else have we got here in this house here? Let me just make sure I got everybody here. Holy cats and kittens, what is going on? We've got Blackjack in the house saying, hail CG, indeed. Hail CG. You know what I'm saying? Hold fast, outclass, outlast. CG for life, people. CG for life. It is great to see you guys here. I hope everybody's doing well on this fine Thursday and or Friday morning if you're in Australia. I always want to make sure, oh my gosh, Mighty Geek Studios is just, you know, gunning for me here in the best sense. Like to see Shanth draw the Phantom. Let me tell you something, guys. The Phantom and the Black Pirate, which was the movie that Douglas Fairbanks Sr. starred in, the silent movie, which influenced the Phantom, all have connections in terms of Nosfero, just like Solomon Kane and all of that kind of stuff. And as you guys know, who are here in the chat and were here the other night, and maybe you've seen some of these images, I have started working on the cover to Nosfero 2. So if you have ever wanted to see Laurel, Nosfero's main squeeze, his wife, dare I say, his wife holding a flintlock pistol. Flintlock pistols I've planned to have come into Nosfero for some time. They are going to be a part of book 2, and we're also going to meet somebody very, very special. What's up, Simply Green? How are you doing? It's great to see you in the house, man. It's great to see all you cats here. But one of the things that's really, really cool to me is I wanted to create a character not who's so much his armorer, but who is is in a sense an armorer, but who is a craftsman, who is a blacksmith, who helps Nosfero with some of the stuff that he needs to get done around the house, dare I say. Now, what this led to is me doing a lot of research on old blacksmith techniques for building flintlock pistols. So I've watched no shortage of flintlock pistols being made. And funny enough, one of the places I went as a kid, when I was growing up in Tennessee, we went to Colonial Williamsburg. One of the old videos was there. Yeah, Gabe accidentally showed a triple threat from Total Recall on stream, and he hit it just to protect his channel. It was what they call a wardrobe malfunction or a screen share malfunction. Those often happen. And so, yeah, I think that's what it was. So, for those of you guys who, may not be in the know, so you don't know until you're in the know, really. I have been a fan of, and I just am fascinated by apes. I love painting them. That's why the logo is an ape, and it's a big part of what inspires me to paint. I just think there's so much character and so much fun quality to be had in painting various apes. I love anything to do with them. I love King Kong. I love the Planet of the Apes movies. I love all of that stuff. And so for me, the opportunity to paint the flying monkeys for Eric Weathers' Battle Brick Road 2 print book, it was just too much of a temptation. What is up, Room of Faye? How are you doing, channel member in the house? It is great to see you. How have you been? Since last night, I should say. I'll tell you something. Let me tell you something. Because that's all I say is I just go, let me tell you something, which I don't know if you guys know this, but in the UK, that's a cliche Americanism, they say, is that we always say, let me tell you something. So I'm really letting the side down, and I apologize for that. But last night's stream, I laughed so hard, I barely have a voice left. I had to collect myself. Let's just say this. I had to collect myself. Oh, wait, what was the question? Roma Faye asked a question, John saying, person, turquoise waving, howdy, John. Oh my gosh, the chat jumped. Howdy. Oh, I just heard you're working on Nosfero 2. Yes. May I ask, has Nosfero 1 shipped? It has started shipping. They have not all shipped. So I am still... Can I do this without doxing anybody? Hang on a second. Looks like freaking terrible over there. All right, just a real quick glimpse. Those are all of the boxes. That is the shipping corner of my office. So I've got a whole system laid out, but I'm a one-man show. So I pack them, and then the labels get printed. So we're just at the start of that stuff. You guys will get, those of you guys who, my wife did the first round of labels, and she clicked fulfilled before she filled in the shipping notice, so she emailed those folks. But in Indiegogo, you can put in tracking numbers. And so we are going to be, you guys are going to be getting tracking numbers when your stuff ships. So you do not have to worry about, has it shipped? If you have, no news is good news. And you will absolutely be notified when your thing is shipping. So yeah, no worries there. Yeah, we got you covered, folks. Let me see. When I move this up, it went a little out of focus. So I just want to see if I can... Oops, that's me. So that's not going to do anything. Hang on a second here. Behave yourself. Camera. Did that do anything? Okay, there we go. Alright, so if I move this up, I want to make sure it's still in focus. There we go. That's a little better. Or is it? Or is it worse? There we go. That's what I wanted. Yeah, so it's going to be... in between Matchlock and Flintlock, were a few oddballs like Wheel Lock. Yes. Oh man, when you look at 17th century pistols and stuff like that, it is wild. It is wild. Yeah, how was Heidi's birthday, right? I hope she's doing well. Shout out to Heidi. Think about what you think about. It is great to see you. I think the stream got a copyright strike last night and is sadly no longer available. Yeah, what it was there was an accidental image share that could be suboptimal. So and yeah, so it's just one of those things. But yeah, so I've been packing up the books. I went to the post office yesterday, and the fine gentleman at the post office said to me that he goes, you can print out a sheet with all the labels, so I don't have to put all these in by hand. And I was like, I did not know that, my friend. I apologize. We will get that sorted out for you. So yeah, I did learn a little bit about things to work on. I've done this twice before. I've done the crowdfunding thing twice before with the first 2 art books. And let me tell you something. Let me tell you something, because I got to stop saying that. I got to find something else to say, because this is getting out of hand. But I did the, I've done 2 art books before. And so one of the parts of this is for people who backed the 2 art books tier and people who have seen that, it is one of the cool things is that I have, I've been taking those books out and looking at them for the first time in a while, like the, mint, still, packed in the shipping box. And they're beautiful, man. Sending the art books 1 and 2 and Nosfero to people has been really cool, because you're getting my entire crowdfunding history, Yeah, I can't use phenomenal because I'm already Browncroft, and that's just stepping on his toes. At Mighty Geek Studios, I like the first 2 best. The time travel to the 60s, 70s is the third one is weird, but still enjoyable. The last 2, I find mostly unwatchable. My gosh, I must have missed something. But yeah, let me see. Well, Green Laser channel member is in the house. It is great to see you, Green Laser. How you doing? Green Laser? Oh my gosh, yeah, I can't wait for you to see the art books. I really can't. I mean, because there's been so much excitement, and conversation and things regarding crowdfunding, because I think we're getting a lot of new people in here, and we're getting, things are expanding. Things are, in terms of people's awareness and comfort with it, and kind of getting a sense. And the thing about it is, when it comes to crowdfunding, the stuff is, how do I word this? When as someone who does crowdfunding, and somebody who, does all of the artwork and stuff myself, with the exception of the great Eric Weathers. Great Eric Weathers. I'm doing this thing largely solo. Is that it's so involved, and it's so complicated. You have to have a mind for a lot of different skill sets that most people aren't going to be. Well, obviously, most people aren't going to be good at all of them. But I would say that, or be natural at all of them. Let's just say that. But at the same time, there's an even larger number of people who it's not going to be their cup of tea. And I get it. It is a tremendous amount of work to do this kind of work. I mean, to do all of it. And you guys and your enthusiasm is such a massive part of what makes that doable on so many levels. Oh yeah, the new plan. I love the old Planet of the Apes. Oh my gosh, Stephen Rockwood drawing. All right, let's talk. Let us talk turkey, no? I got on Blu-ray, and I know I have it in iTunes, the first Planet of the Apes movie, and I've been wanting to watch it with my kids for the longest time, and I just realized I haven't yet, so I've got to put that on the docket to watch the first original Planet of the Apes movie. But let me say this, my catchphrases, I need to make a shirt for that. The new Planet of the Apes movies, when I first saw them, I'm like, the effects are great, these are solid movies. As those movies went on, and when they got to the end, I went, oh my God, this is the story of Moses leading his people out of Egypt. And they hit every freaking note of that, and I went, this is a great trilogy. It's worth a watch. Listen, Urumafe, let me tell you something. A fear of monkeys, particularly apes, is utterly justified, and I think we all know why. Those guys are nuts. Yes, it does. It blows my mind that he plays Caesar, and a great movie, yeah. Original is the classic. Didn't mind... Oh, whoops, it just jumped. Didn't mind... Oh, the Marky Mark one, but the latest lot are better. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah. The second one with the mutants and the bomb worship is pretty awesome. Yes, the underground one. Yeah, they were swinging for the fences on those, man. And I just like, how far they pushed the makeup effects. I mean, you really identified with the characters in those movies. They had great, personalities. They had really great actors. The late, I think it was Roddy McDowall, who was in those, if I'm not mistaken. He did a tremendous job. Yeah, there were some tremendous people in that, and great storytelling, man. Yeah. You know it. You absolutely know it. Yeah. It is one of those things, man. It is one of those things. Hail 40% Zed. It's great to see you. Have you seen the chimpanzee? Have you seen the chimpanzee in that movie? Nope. Yeah, that's one of those things. Yeah, it's scary. It's scary business. Chimps are wild. Whenever people talk about humanity as this inherently sort of negative thing, which I can't do. So anybody who I mean it when I say give nihilism no quarter. Anybody who wants to have a nihilistic view of the nature of humanity, or see humanity portrayed as inherently bad or evil or against nature or against good, you're not going to enjoy my work. I can say that for starters, because I can't get down with that at all. I've never understood that. I think it could be, when when a good artist does it well, it can definitely be interesting. But I think you can get drama without it being a nihilistic commentary on the nature of humans, which is odd considering I love the first Planet of the Apes movie. But that's an example of it being done well. You know what I mean? Yeah, glad to see so many folks in the chat. Hope everyone is doing well in the new year. Yeah, if I haven't seen you and you're in the chat this year, Happy New Year to everybody. I'm actually excited about 2024. I'm excited about, just all of the things I've learned, and all the things that I have yet to learn that are in the future of this year. I hope you guys are too. I love hearing that. I love hearing that you guys are doing new things and are excited about the future and the stuff in the coming year. For me, completing Nosfero was more than about the book and shipping it. It's overwhelming and it's wonderful. I love shipping. I do not have to, I really don't see it as a chore. It's actually, because it's the point. It is physically a lot of work, but it is the point. You know what I mean? Amanda B, thank you for dropping that link in the chat. Yes, indeed. Battle Brick Road 2 by my brother from another mother, Eric Weathers. The great Eric Weathers. Don't get it twisted, folks. J-Bot Art, it is great to see you, J-Bot. How you doing? Just came in from Statistical Zero Stream. Two of my favorite... Oh, let me jumped a little bit. Two of my favorite streamers back-to-back. Today is a good day. It's a good day because you are here. It's a good day for both of us, I'm sure, because you're in the chat, my friend. It's great to see you. Let me think. Can I look at lists without doxing people? Let me see. I think we're at about 70, but don't quote me on that. If you're number 70, if you haven't gotten a tracking number, it hasn't been shipped, because I have been surprisingly... it's so weird to do counts when you're dealing with numbers this big. So all my previous crowdfunding campaigns, I don't think went over like 180 or something like that. I think that was my highest one. So I'm still getting used to how many supplies I need to order. And I use fragile stickers when I'm packing my books, and packing tape very liberally. Let's put it that way. I want these books to come in secure. So one of the things that I do is, at the very least, every single book, Gemini has these 8.5 by 11, because my boxes are 8.5 by 11, mail pattern cardboard pads, which is to say just sheets of cardboard cut to 8.5 by 11, that you can order, and I put at least 2 in for every single book. So, but with books that are heavier, that are carrying the art books, or even the ones that are carrying head sketches, I will oftentimes put up to 3 padding boards on either side. So I'm really packing the living heck out of these things, because I've put so much work into them, and also because I'm just crazy that way with sending things. I feel like I'm putting like my kids in the mail. You know, like you guys are excited, I'm excited, so I want it to be great for you. So yeah, so that and I do it myself. Okay, I'm 281, gonna have to wait, I guess. Well, I'm gonna try to make sure you don't have to wait too long, but you will absolutely be notified when it's shipping. What's up, Drawn Sword Graphics in the house? It's great to see you. Hales, what are you painting today? Oh, I'm so glad you asked, my friend. Gosh, my voice is going. I laughed too much last night. I blame Gabe and Jericho. So I am painting a work of art for the print book. Link is in the description directly to the print book for Battle Brick Road 2 by the great Eric Weathers. And yeah, I cannot wait to get this to him. And I've been wanting to work on this for a while, because something that I mentioned last stream that might be worth pointing out to any of you guys, who just in general when you're working on a project, right? So I need to be working on more than one painting at a time. I just need to, because they fuel each other. And when I started Michael's painting, I was working on Razor Fist's poster for the poster Razor Fist commissioned me to do for, oh my god, that's how tired I am, Ghosts of the Badlands. And it was a really great experience. Shout out to Razor Fist, and really happy with how his book's been doing, or has done, and I'm glad I don't have to ship it, because that was crazy, man. That was awesome. But I was working on Mike's piece while I was working on that. And when I finished that piece, I didn't, because I was dealing with the printing stuff and I wasn't thinking about, I was thinking in my head, I just got target fixation. I was like, I got to finish this before I start Eric's piece. And as my wife says when she came in and saw it, she's like, could we call it done though? And I'm like, we could call it done. But it's, I just want to do a few more things. And, but it kind of froze me. It totally froze me up. And I think that since I've been working on this piece, it's been good, because you need to have those two different things, you know, going on. You need to have the initial start of a painting happening, and you need to have, you know, the initial breakdown, and then you need to have the initial or the end part of detailing happening at the same time. It's really important, because you can move back and forth. What's up, Eric Huffles, channel member, Rockstar? It's good to see you, brother. Sean, did you watch The Creator? And if so, thoughts? I thought it was a solid flick, and I have to say, really thought Denzel Washington's son did great in that movie. And I hate to refer to him as such, but it's all I could think, man. I'm really looking forward to Battle Brick Road 2, The Ghost of the Badlands, specifically for, the accompanying Shanth art. Thank you so much, Ziggs. I appreciate that. It's a banger of a piece. It's really good. You know, it's a really good one. And I think they all have been. The biggest thing on looking back on this year as an artist, and as somebody who is writing and illustrating, you know, a book and all that stuff, is that I've done the best artwork of my career this year. And it's a little bit, I was watching the Anthony Joshua fight that was where he had put on a really impressive performance, and there was a lot of, you know, he's been getting a lot of garbage because of his losses and how timid he's been as a fighter. And one of the things that dawned on me is they were talking about part of the reason why they think he performed so well is because instead of waiting for one big mega fight every year, he just started fighting more often and being active. And this is in life and everywhere else, is such an important aspect to keep ourselves physically active, not our minds active. our minds active will get us into an anxiety space. I tell people all the time, if you find yourself thinking too much, perseverating about the fate of the world and all of that stuff, you can pray, you can meditate, or you can go for a walk. Every single one of those is going to be better than perseverating on just a lot of data and what everyone's thinking. And when you're making a lot of artwork, oddly, you get into a groove. And I was working 2 jobs, I think, when I did the first art book, or maybe I was just working 1 job. I can't remember. Or at that point, but I had a 90-mile commute. A lot of stuff was going on, but I just really turned it up work-wise. I haven't seen the creator yet, but the robots are right down my alley. Yeah, they look great, don't they, Stephen Rockwood? Yeah, the third act did fall off for me. I feel like there was a little uncertainty. What's up, my homie? How are you doing? Happy New Year to you, my friend. There was a fall off in terms of the director is an unbelievable technician. He does, Gareth Edwards, I think is his name. He does great work, but he struggles with this, my personal opinion, he struggles with the emotional aspect of characters. They needn't be wildly complicated either. I think Godzilla -1 has proven that we really just want to see, who's another guy who's a special effects artist and director and writer and storyboarder. So, but we need that emotional core. We need that emotional heart in the stories. And when I write my stories, particularly with Nosfero, I'm writing them from a standpoint that, yes, is a lot of the things we talk about in CG and a lot of things we talk about in Comicscape. And it's the cool thing about what we do here is that we just want to tell good stories. And so you see characters like Heather Swain. You see characters. Where the heck did my CyberFrog trading card? Oh, I moved it. That's right. I was decorating for Christmas, so I put Jacob Marley over there. I gotta get CyberFrog trading card back. But there really is this thing to where if I'm doing my job, there's a little bit of gothic romance in here. There's definitely a core romantic relationship to this stories. But it's about humanity. It's about people, man. That's the thing that matters to me the most. Shanth, word of the day, yeah, perseverate, absolutely. Repeat, prolong an action, thought or utterance after the stimulus that it prompted has ceased. They perseverate under stress. It's very true, man. Absolutely true. Yep. And it's definitely one of those things. I've begun telling people, oh, geez, Louise. My brother passed away mid-year. The holidays were hard, so if I'm not myself, I miss him. Hey, listen. You're absolutely yourself when you're missing your brother, man. You're absolutely yourself when you're missing your brother. I miss my father-in-law a lot during this time. There's a lot of people that I miss. And I want to say this too, I really do believe that there's this part of us that aches for the people that we love, because it's like there's this phantom limb pain of this love that is directed at them. And then we have to kind of change that and build off of that and see how really process how enormous that love was and how it extends beyond just the physical. And that's a real natural thing to feel it at the times when you feel the most emotional, to begin that process of taking it from the physical to the eternal, to the super personal space where that love kind of is too big to be contained in and directed at a person, because they're holding that love in their physical presence. And then when that presence expands beyond, their physical form, you realize how immense it is, how enormous it is, and what a powerful connection it is. So God bless you, brother. Much love, John. Much love. 100%, man. Yeah, and I mean, as you can tell, I mean, that's the stuff I like to write about. That's the stuff I care about, which is, how important that stuff is. How important that stuff is to all of us, because look, we've all, I'm sure, experienced these various things, and we may be at various stages, and some stages, that return with our processing of it, but we come together because Not because we've had the exact same experience, but because we celebrate, honor, understand, and recognize the human experience that ties us all together. And that's what I love about it. What is up, Blue Boy Comics? Oh, my glasses just fell off. My only gripe about Legendary's Godzilla is the middle portion of his full roar sounds too heavy and mushy. With the sound, though the beginning and ending of the roar is great. Wow, that's crazy. You know what? I've never heard of that before. Of course, brother. Yeah, you guys are awesome. You guys are awesome. You know, look at all this wonderful folks here. And yeah, I people who are, I do love good sound in movies, and I've even had people put headphones on me to hear the great sound work that's done in video games. But if I'm being honest, I'm much more likely to notice the nuances in the visual in a film restoration than I am the sound. But I actually love talking about sound because one of my favorite artists as a kid, coming up and still who I respect tremendously, is Walter Murch, who is one of the great sort of sound designers and editors and sound designers. Yeah, there's some really great stuff that people do, you know. There's some really great stuff that people do in the field of sound. And sound is such a massive part of the experience. You know, it gives a sense of scale. You know, some artists, you know, and filmmakers really do a great job of painting with the silence between the sounds. That's another amazing aspect of it. So, yeah, 100%. You know, it's such a great thing. Yeah, I mean, it's weird that, you know, the weird thing to me about Comicsgate and about the Iron Age and about, you know, the stuff that we do, the YouTube element of it that I think surprises people, is that the people, and you know, it's just one of those things that the people in the chat and the real sense of you know, fellowship and humanity and humor, all that stuff, man, is the best part of it. And it was always the same thing. It was always the same thing at the comic shop for me. So my comic shop owner that I went to when I was a kid, my local comic shop, was a guy named Wade, and it was American Collectors Exchange was the name of the comic shop. And he actually went to the same church that I went to when I was a kid. So him and his wife. And his wife was diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis. And that was, I think, just after or just before she delivered their first baby. And so they were dealing with a lot. And, you know, you go in and you check on people. You're like, how are you doing, man? You know, that's what it's about, man. Watch an animation animated before the sound. Yes, the sound is added, especially if it already has the dialogue. And you can see how important that sound is. Absolutely. Yeah, sound designers are big, like Ben Burt, all of those guys. They're great, man. 100%. I love sound designs in movies. And what's crazy is what Walter Murch did a very symphonic, wild, kind of experimental technology soundtrack for George Lucas's first feature film, which was THX 1138. And they have a soundtrack on the Blu-ray of that is just the audio, just the sound effects. And it's a trip to watch, man. Yeah, the old Disney animations driven by sound and music, you can really see the difference it made. Yeah, you know, they did a lot of behind-the-scenes features on those too, didn't they? They did a lot of behind-the-scenes features showing, you know, the sound lab and all of the different stuff that they did there. Yeah, I love that stuff. I love looking at the behind-the-scenes stuff. That's just a great part of, you know, of the behind-the-scenes stuff that we got glimpses of. I don't know exactly when it started. I think a lot of those behind-the-scenes things really did start with Disney. They went into folks like Ray Harryhausen because it became another marketing tool. And what I will say is the coolest thing I'm just thinking about right now, Comicsgate, in a lot of ways, is one of the first, you know, really big movements where seeing the process, the behind the scenes, is a big part of the marketing. Like right now, I sort of see my job as not only marketing Shanth Enjeti art and what I'm doing with, you know, all of my stuff with Nosfero and the second printing and all that other stuff that's coming down the pipe. Once I get all of this, you know, other stuff shipped out, which is my goal, then I'm going to be, you know, in that mode. But it's It's to promote, this, which is for Battle Brick Road 2, the print book. So we're really doing that stuff. I just kind of dawned on me. That's a trip, man. Shanth, did you like the sort of redesign and visual of -1's Atomic Breath? Well, I've seen it, but I haven't seen the movie, and I actually think it's cool. Yeah, I thought it was a very cool idea. But let me add to that. let me preface that by saying I think that's a testament to how the whole movie visually seems to be working together. I really wanted to go see that over break, but we all got sick with the sweet and sour sniffles got us. So we were kind of down for a couple of weeks at varying degrees, but I am looking forward to see it. And here's another one, Blue Boy Comics. I don't know if you've heard of this. No. It's I know how it ends. I know in detail how it ends. So do not worry. You have not spoiled anything. I would say this, guys. I've known, and I know Ethan's with me on this, Psycho is one of the greatest movies ever made. I know it's his favorite. I've known the twist of Psycho since the first time I've watched it, maybe even before I watched it. It's better and better even with knowing the ending. It doesn't matter. It's that good of a movie. And I would say if a movie is great, spoilers don't affect it. In fact, you watch it back and you see more incredible things. It deepens the caliber and the quality of the film. So yeah. And I love the fact that a well-crafted film can be timeless. I rewatch a lot of movies because I have my go-tos. If there's one thing I would love to do, and he's too busy, and I wouldn't imagine he'd ever have the time, is I would love to do a stream or have Ethan on at some point as a guest for nothing other than to do a not exactly frame by frame, but collect a whole bunch of screen caps for Psycho and do a breakdown of Psycho. I would love to do that because I'd love to get his insights on it and just mainly not even his insights, because I'm sure there's plenty of those, but you can always find a lot of insights online. But I would like to, when someone loves a film, there's this element of their personal connection to it. So I'd love to hear the things that you can't read in a book. Like this scene amazed me because of this reason and this reason. That's the stuff to me that makes it all, really fun. Really fun for me and for folks as an artist. I love that kind of stuff. I love the talking about art in movies in a fun way. It's a fun thing. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there's some really great stuff. Love HB Energy. There you go, man. There you go. Look at all the love in the chat. HB has been summoned. There it is. You got to have the HB Energy. And happy birthday, by the way. Indeed, very essential. Yeah, I'm excited about the realization that people are coming to that we don't need a central. We don't need that we don't need a centralized force of tastemakers to make art. We need craftspeople. We need artists. We have more technology than we've ever had for the creation and promotion of artwork. The only thing that we are missing, and the only thing that is very rare and very difficult to come by, is, who I'm missing on the stream? I'm missing Timmy Mello, man. I'm missing Timmy Mello. I miss when I don't see Timmy Mello for too long, man. But we need people with the skill. The paper printing, while great on Nosfero, it doesn't fill the pages. You've got to make the beauty. You've got to make all of that stuff work. And we don't need their limitations. We don't need their censorship. We don't need our artwork to be approved by the Politburo. We don't need any of that here. And so that's why there's a lot of books I'm excited about. I ordered on eBay. I'm going to say this forever. I did order. I know I forgot to do something. I did something dumb. I had another window open or something like that. But I know, I have this sense, I'm clearly wrong, that I ordered Black Riding Hood by John Malin. Because I love Outlaw comics. But I just ordered it on eBay. For all I know, somebody in the chat sold it to me, but I just ordered it on eBay so I could have it. I know this whole story because, you know, I watched Anna read it, and I watched, I think Abra's 2 Cents read it as well. Yeah, where's Heidi? Eric Huffle's in the house. What's up? Where's Heidi? Heidi Booth, happy birthday. It is so great to see you. That fishbowl margarita John did me in Hill Smokes. Yeah. So we have to say, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. My voice is gone. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to Heidi. Happy birthday to you. It's great to see you. My voice is shot to hell. So sorry. Sorry for that singing, and I apologize. I'm probably going to get copyright struck for that, but who cares? They probably, the happy birthday copyright, they'll probably hear it and go, he's not singing happy birthday. His voice is terrible. What is he singing? He's gone. That is such a funny song, or funny idea that song is copywritten. I should have sang Feliz Cumpleaños, but I don't know if that's copywritten either. But yeah, I mean, I think that when I started looking at the Townsend's channel, when I started looking at all of the YouTubers that I really admire, who build things and create things, and some of the people who travel and go to locations like Grim Life Collective, it inspired me so much. It's great to see. Look at all the love in the chat. Everybody's saying happy birthday to Tammy. Everybody's happy. You're welcome, Heidi. I say thanks, Rubafe. What's up, brother? How are you doing? My brother, Rocky Ballesteros. Check out his channel. He better drop a link for it in there. Thank you so much, Heidi. I appreciate that. You know what the thing that's so fun about this is that I am so glad that I have a ability and talent and have put in the work to do something that inspires other people and entertains other people the way that artists, so many artists who do things that I don't do, inspire me. Because it's not, when I see an amazing violinist, even though I love playing the violin, when I see artwork, sometimes it feels like I'm looking at my work, at my job. And I love that I get to put my work into painting, and for you guys, it's not a job. For you guys, it's something you get to kind of wait for in the mail, and you don't have to worry about the printing, and you don't have to worry about the painting and the writing and all of that other stuff. And so that's the thing I love about it. So, you know, to share something like that with you guys, I don't know if any of you guys are great at cooking. I am absolutely terrible at cooking. Don't understand it. So one of the skills, or I'm not very good at reading fiction. So the skills that I admire in people oftentimes, like when I see someone who really knows how to cook, I am amazed. I could watch cooking shows like crazy. Or when I see, you know, people who just devour books. I can read nonfiction. I could read, you know, more science stuff and historical stuff. But I struggle to really stay engaged with fiction. So when I see people devouring fiction and painting the pictures in their head, I'm always excited by that. You know what I mean? It's the fun thing. It's great, you know? Yeah, I used about at the beginning. There you go. You know, oh my gosh, you guys are the best. Yeah. Yeah, make sure you have bail money. It happens. And there's my brother's YouTube channel. Make sure you're subscribed. He's over 100 subscribers, I think, right now. Let's keep that number growing. And let's keep growing this thing because, you know, ultimately, I think what we're sharing here is some positivity and enthusiasm. And we all know that during, you know, these particular years, everybody loses their mind. And it's, not 100. I wish. Well, let's get it to 100 then. What's it at right now? Let's move that. Let's move that needle. And let's get it going. Wait, is it at 50? You hit some milestone. Over 60. There you go. Excellent. Well, let's get it to 70 because you all know I love the number 7. But yeah, I mean, I'm one of those folks that I remember when my wife was expecting and someone said to me, do you hope your kids are artists? And I thought for a minute about it. And I said, well, you know, they're going to grow up with art in their lives. But what's exciting to think about are the qualities or the things that we don't do that they're going to bring into our lives. Because that's what friends do. Friends bring in things very often that bring quality to your life that you don't know. And I guess that's why I was talking about just the idea of doing a stream where I talk about Psycho with Ethan Van Sciver, because here's the thing. I've already watched Hitchcock talk about it. I've already watched all of these film historians talk about it, Truffaut and you know, the various, you know, countless books that have been written about it and documentaries that have been written about it. But I want to know, like, what Ethan's relationship is with that film, just like I know, you know, what Gabe Jericho's relationship with that film is. I know what a lot of my friends, you know, relationship with that film is. But that's the cool thing about getting together with people. Otherwise, you know, oh my gosh, you guys are great. You guys are great. Much love. And that's what it is, you know. We may not all be artists, but we can all be art lovers. 100%, guys. Listen, I don't, yeah, a recipe, for me, a recipe is a riddle wrapped in an enigma. Let me say that much. And, it's wildness. But, yeah, I mean, I love boxing so much, and I'm a big time stat guy. My wife, at first used to say to me, she goes, well, do you ever want me to get you tickets to a fight? And I said, no. Not because I'm not a wild fan of crowds, but because I like stats. I like really watching the detail of the fight, and the only person who gets a better view than an HD camera is, you know, the ref in charge of the action. And so I've got to I want to be right there, and I memorize stats. I love watching YouTube behind the scenes videos on who's the new trainer, how this person's being trained. I live for that stuff, but I don't want to do it. And I always applaud after fights, you know. I'm always excited and for these guys and impressed. I'm never going to be one of those fans who's like, oh, this guy's a bum because he lost a fight, or it's not my thing, you know. I don't do that, because I recognize they're doing something at a very high level that I myself am not capable of doing, and I have respect for that. Same thing with musicians. You know, when I watch my daughter dance or play the guitar, which she does, or play the piano, which she does, I'm amazed by that. When I watch my son do his 3D modeling stuff, which he's been doing, he started doing professionally at a young age, and it's crazy. I'm amazed by it, but I'm amazed by what other people do all the time, man. I love great chefs. There was this show that may still be on Netflix. I remember watching. What was it called? It had a great name. Shoot. I forget what it was called, but it was about extremely high-end chefs from around the world. And I can't remember what the heck it was called. They had a gentleman from Brazil who picked all of his ingredients based on things that would grow in the Amazon. He was trying to create a uniquely Brazilian cuisine. I can't cook it all. Guys, there's a 50% chance I can successfully make an Eggo waffle. Okay? 50-50, how that goes. But I loved hearing him talk about ingredients and food. What is up, First Watch Studios? How are you doing? Can't wait to get this book in my hands. I cannot wait for you to get the book in your hands. I have got my shipping set up in here, trying to spare the family as much as possible, though I have taken over the, the dining room table. But it is great. Do you ever get to watch MMA? What about female mud wrestling? I'm getting into MMA. I watch it the same way I watch boxing. I love it for the slow-mo. I love it for I love it for the improvisation and then skilled mastery you have to have. I mean, when I start working on a painting, right? When I start working on something like this, excuse me, gosh darn it. I have a plan, I have a layout, I have a sketch, but then when I start to actually paint the thing, I got to throw myself into the deep end, if you know what I mean. And I have to just put paint on board and get going. And then there's this whole experience of improvisational, creative work that has to be done. And that's where you really start figuring out what your skills are. If I over design it, or if I make it too much of a system how I make my work, the life of it just drains out. The life of the work drains out. And you really want to make sure when you're working, that you're protecting what is in fact the art aspect of it, which is the happenstance, right? Oh man, the light is blocking that. Sorry about that, guys. Let me move the camera in, and then I might readjust the focus so that you guys can see that a little better. But I want to keep the life in it. You know what I mean? Let's get that focus a little better. There we go. I want to keep the life in it. I want to make sure that when you guys get these poster books and when you guys get Nosfera the Cryptwalker, that not only are you getting your physical copy of the book that I signed and that I actually put in the box to mail it to you. So you're seeing a Shanth packed book when you get it. That you guys can put your nose to the paper and see the detailing and see where, you know, my hand moved across the page. And if you backed it at the head sketch level, then you get to see a head sketch inside of your book. And if you backed it at the painted head sketch level, you can put your nose to that original painting. And 3 of those have already gone out. So 3 of those first head sketches, I think, have already gone out. So people are going to be getting some Shanth original artwork soon. And oh man, I cannot wait for that. That is going to be fun. Actually, I was just wondering if, I think she already entered the tracking numbers, but I'll ask her when she gets home. But yeah, I cannot wait for that. So yeah, that's the fun of it. And that's why when people come into these streams, they're getting kind of a fly on the wall look at all of this stuff. You know, that's what makes it so great. Oh my God, I'm so behind on the chat. Oh no, Rocky, you're in for it now. Heidi Booth has subbed to your channel. That's right. That's right. Look out, y'all. Look out. Here we go. Yeah. That's right. Yeah, we have the best ladies in this space. Everybody knows it. Everybody knows it. Yeah. Our gals will take the Pepsi challenge with any gals anywhere on the planet. There, I said it. There, I said it. That's what makes it fun. Yeah, oh gosh, who was I talking to about this? I might have been talking to the missus about this, but I can't recall. But I think I was saying to somebody, I go, one of the most miserable concepts that I've ever seen promoted in my life, that people promote, is that men and women are better off without each other. Now, I think it goes without saying that any person who is a jerk, who is, you know, manipulative, abusive, whatever those things are, yeah, we're better off with, you know, all of those people not in our lives. But when you meet exemplars of humanity, they come in every, you know, possible form. And it's like, to me, the dynamic interplay of men and women, I don't know how you write stories without it. I don't know, you know, how you experience life without it. And so what my big goal is, or my rule of thumb when I'm dealing with people, is I try to keep people around me who are good people. You know what I mean? People who are, and I can define that real clearly. I mean, you can define that with the 10 Commandments, but people who don't spread gossip, people who don't, like, there's like all these like things, you know what I mean? People who don't try to work behind scenes to affect people negatively, because I don't do any of that stuff. Like, I won't be a part of it. I won't participate in it. It's not my thing. And people who are kind to the people around them. That's what I like about Mrs. Enjeti. That's what I like, and I've tried to raise and teach my kids to do. Do you know what I mean? And I don't understand another way of doing things. It's really weird. What's up, Jimmy Reyes? How you doing, brother? Blast from the past, my man. How you doing? It's great to see you, man. I had fun, Jimmy. I'm gonna try to get this. I'm gonna try to talk because my voice is gone, man. But this is the thing about it, is that I had so much fun when I was doing the new Comicsgate Kings intro, when I was editing that video, which I don't know if any of you guys have seen. One of the fun things, what's up, Duck Bacon? One of the fun things about it was the fact that I got to do, I got to edit Jimmy and a bunch of other people into the intro, like into the intro proper. And one of the things that was the best thing to see is, and one of the things I always want to do with those Comicsgate Kings intro, is show people having a good time, except for, of course, John Malin, who I wanted to show having a good time, but in a different way. And I loved I loved doing the intro because Jimmy, there were so many shots of Jimmy smiling and everybody smiling. So that was a fun part of it for me. That was a fun part of it for me. Now I got a new empty scene, got music playing. Hang on a second. Man, that was out of control. Oh, I can't do it live. That's so annoying. I wanted to show it live, but I can't. All right, we'll go back. All right, so let me go here. Hang on. There we go. But it was a lot of fun, man. Oh, of course, my friend. Of course. You're very welcome, John. Take care. Founding Father John Malin, the first person thanked in the onward section in the back. And what's up, Duck Bacon? Let me see who else I got here. I got tons of people here. My God. Duck Bacon, Eric Huffles, of course, with the Dragon Rage, or link there in the chat. Where is it? Oh, there it is. I'm sorry, Eric Huffles with the Dragon Rage, and Duck Bacon right above him. Yeah, let me see who else I've missed here in the chat. Think about what you think about. Shanth, what advice would you have for someone who is an overthinker and tends to experience a great deal of anxiety as a result? Oh, that's a really great question. Holy cow, I get some really good questions at this point. And thank you, John, about the recovery. I'm mending. I'm definitely mending. All right, here's the best advice I could give you. Whenever you're experiencing that kind of thing, ask yourself what time you're living in. And you can do this for mental health in general. If your mind is preoccupied with reliving in the past and being in the past, you will be depressed. If your mind is focused on living in the future, what if this happens? What if this happens? What am I going to do? What am I going to do? Things you can't control. You're going to feel anxiety. The only healthy place that you could ever live in is in the present. Because even when you're planning, like you're actually doing physical planning, you're in the present because you have to, it's a verb. You're planning, right? So you're in the present. And so what I always tell people is the second you're feeling anxious or depressed, the best thing you could do for yourself is do anything physical. Doing the dishes, cleaning your house, going for a walk, running an errand. You will feel your anxiety start to dissipate. You will feel your depression start to dissipate. You will feel a real sense of purpose. It is the ultimate cure for those things. And yes, of course, there's the other stuff, the professional aspects of it, talking to somebody, talking to your doctor, all of that kind of stuff, which is important. If it's something that's just pervasive and severe that you're struggling with, and there's smarter people out there to talk to you about that. But the biggest general rule of thumb I would say for people is to keep yourself in the present. And you'll notice when you're in these streams, one of the reasons why I think that the streams I do are, besides the positivity, can be good for anxiety is I've learned that when I watch streams where people are doing something, that's excellent. So if your wife is pregnant, if I'm not mistaken, you have your child. And that is the coolest thing. So touch that belly, talk to the belly, say, I can't wait to meet you. That's the stuff to do in the present. Take care of your wife, talk to her, hug her, let yourself feel your excitement. It's great. I was just saying, Timmy Mello, a little while ago, you can rewind back and check tape, how much I was missing your presence in this chat, brother. So I love seeing you in the chat. My man, Timmy Mello, it is great to see you. Happy New Year once more. And, you always put a smile on my face, man. Channel member, rock star, all around great dude, Timmy Mello. Yeah, everybody's saying hello to Timmy Mello. But yeah, I mean, that's a big thing, man. That's a big thing, having a kid will teach you that we have no control in life. It's all an illusion. But yeah, congrats on being a future dad. You know what's the funniest thing about it is that they say that a why can sustain or help you discover any how. Like if you're in a situation, how you're going to do it. If you have a good why, you will find the how to make it happen. And I cannot think of a greater how than having kids, than taking care of someone else, and helping. Sometimes it can be helping a stranger, helping strangers. It can be taking care of your pets. That's the key, man. That's the key, because it gets you outside of yourself, and it can be wonderful. It can just be wonderful sometimes. Yes, I understand things in life must be experienced. Yeah, but you know what's great is It's so terrific. Jimmy Reyes again, man. Yeah, but it was Jimmy, thank you for smiling so much during streams. I was having a heck of a time finding people smiling for the for the King's intro. Everybody just kind of looked like, it's like, I felt like that thing that people say, which is ridiculous. They go, it's sexist when men tell people, you look nicer when you smile. Everyone looks nicer when they smile. When I'm editing together stuff for the King's intro, it's like if I got a bunch of guys that's cutting to them, they're like, it's no fun, man. It's no fun. You gotta have people smiling and laughing and having a good time. And I think when people come into the streams, just to get back to whatever the heck I was saying a minute ago, when people come into my streams, they're seeing me do something, and when I watch streams where people are doing something, it's weird how that can affect your anxiety and make you feel better about things. And Ethan was saying on a stream, and guys, day and night has lost all meaning to me, as I'm sure you can imagine. But Ethan was saying on a stream the other day, like when people were asking, how come you film your iPad when you're showing articles and you don't just share it as a screen? I have argued, and I will argue with people that when you share a screen only on stream, sometimes it can make people feel like they're at work, because so many of us have to look at that computer screen for work. But when they see a distant shot, just one step removed of someone using technology, they feel like they're watching the other person do the work, and it's less stressful. I don't know why that is. Yeah, it's absolutely true. If you force yourself to smile, it will make you feel better. And that's why we laugh so much on these streams and we have such a great time. I mean, that's everything, man. That's everything. Like the times, like if I can't remember a time, oh, you're graduating from nursing school in May. Congratulations. Wow. That is fantastic. Speaking of professions, we're well represented in that profession, man. So yeah, we got Tammy in here and everything like that. If there is one group of people, it's like airline and airplane aeronautic mechanics, aviation mechanics, nurses. Like there are so many outstanding things, and I always feel as though, or I always think that that my job as an artist is to have my, me as a working person, entertain and amuse and inspire other working people. So when someone's working hard and they come off of a long day at work, I want my artwork to be something they see that makes them smile or laugh or feel excited or feel inspired. And that actually, my self edit there was for a very big reason, and this might also speak to the whole anxiety, worrying sort of thing, which is that we use feeling for thinking a lot. We use the word wrong, because feeling is a way you describe emotions. Thinking is something else. So when you say, I'll give you an example. I'm feeling like this painting isn't going to work. That's not a feeling. That's a thought. You're not actually feeling like the painting is going to work. So what's the weather like? It's feeling like the painting isn't going to work outside. So bring a jacket. That's not a feeling. That's a thought. So I always try to edit myself when I say a feeling. Use feeling to describe a thought. I'm thinking this painting isn't going to work. And once you realize what you're thinking, that's not a feeling, you go, and how does that make me feel? Well, that'll make you feel pretty hopeless, pretty down. And if you just change the way your thinking should drive your feelings should not drive your thoughts. And so I always say, it's a more important question to ask yourself, why am I thinking this way, than it is to ask yourself, why am I feeling this way? Because the feeling is probably being driven by your thoughts. And so I always, say to myself, what am I thinking about? What's the thing that's there? And funny enough, think about what you think about. This might be that might be the greatest punchline ever. It's one of those things. So we love it. Yeah. Mark's music obsession went going deep again, Sean. Yeah, I have no other gear. It's totally true. Yeah, it is. It's one of those things, man. Oh my God. I always tell this story, man, and it's like I would talk to people who were in really tough situations, adults, when I was like 12 or 13, and just be there listening on, oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, and people would be like, your kid is one of the most empathetic kids. It was weird, man. But yeah, it is. It's just how it is. I'm very strange that way. But I'm always thinking about the whole, when I'm making work, I think about people I've met, situations that I've noticed where I was really impressed by how people acted. And I think that's where a lot of my characters come from. It's more than just a name that I named. Excuse me. The werewolf's actual name is Malin Fenrir, and his character name that he goes by, his call sign, dare I say, is Greylock. But his character is it's because I wanted to acknowledge John Malin being the first man over the wall. I wanted to acknowledge how we got here, and it became important to me, and it made sense. And I don't know if he thought I was really going to do that or not. Because when I said it, it might have sounded offhand, but I thought no, because I think that John. Here's the thing about John, I will say. I would trust John with my last dollar, because he's one of those guys where if he says something, he's going to do it. If he says something, he's going to show up. And it's it's one of those things that I really appreciate in people, that he's just he's very frank. There's no he's not a lot of subterfuge. He's not political at all. Like he doesn't give a shit about the politics. He wants things, people to work hard, get things done. He's about the job, and I'm very much like that. I cannot get interested in office politics ever. It's just not my thing, and it's something I really appreciate about him, and that speaks to the character. That speaks to the character of Greylock. So I thought that would be, a good, I don't know where this is going, but I love Pete Smetti. I remember there was a moment when I was changing my infant son, and he started peeing at the same time. And I thought, well, this is fatherhood. Yeah, that's a life changer. It's an absolute life changer, man. Yeah, it is. It is. That's too funny. Yeah. And the same thing goes for Ethan. I mean, I was on one of his early streams, and he's got a lot of different qualities to John, but his drive, I think, to promote people and to promote CG and to help people. I mean, he's not going to say this, and so I'll say it. I never really wanted to put how Nosfero did on Ethan. I remember saying to my wife, I go, if anybody in Comicsgate wants to help me promote the book, that is fantastic. But I'm going to approach this like I am 100% responsible for it. I didn't think Mike Bancroft was going to launch it on his channel. Shout out to my brother Mike. I didn't think any of that stuff was going to happen. And we got basically to the point where I was closing out the campaign. So this is after 60 days. And Eric Weathers, one of my brothers, said to Ethan, Shanth is going to be closing down Nosfero the next day. And Ethan goes, well, I guess we'll have to live stream. And I hadn't heard from him all day, and I thought, I wasn't waiting around for it. I was like, I'm just going to stream. I'm more than happy with how things have gone. I mean, I've got to do way better and keep working, but it's my responsibility to do so. And then all of a sudden, he just posts in the chat. He goes, we're going to be doing Dale Keown's poster book launch and Shanth Enjeti's Nosfero closeout. And Ethan made me, I think, probably a couple $1,000s, maybe $3,000 or $4,000 with that closeout stream, where he earned me that money to put towards the books. And that's essential when you're talking about almost non-existent margins. That stuff is important, but it's like, yeah, he didn't show up for some reason. Pete sat live for an hour waiting on John because it's become a meme. Yes, I saw that. Yeah, they were doing the best of the year show. That's right. I did. I saw that. Yeah, that was hilarious, man. That was hilarious. That's great, man. Yeah, poor John, man. John is spinning plates while the plates are spinning plates, man. And him and Shane and as well, man. Because I know they're doing... I don't know when that C2E2 thing is, but I know it's going on at some point, and I know they're preparing for that stuff. And, yeah, it's craziness. Absolute madness. Those guys are terrific. They work really, really hard. And that really is what it comes down to. When you're crowdfunding a book like this, it's a lot. It's a lot of stress. It's a lot of pressure. And, creatively, you want it to be something beautiful. You want it to be something great. And there's a lot that goes into it. And, for me, when a client asks me, to, do a job, and, clients who I think are I consider to be, more than acquaintances, but artist brothers at this point, people like, Eric Weathers, Razor Fist, Ethan, who I've done stuff for. I want it to be something that's beautiful, that lives up to their expectations and helps their brand. There you go, right there. Yep, get those variant covers. They're beautiful, man. They're beautiful. And there's so much stuff that can be done with it. That's the thing that's fun. That's what I love to do. Hey, Gene, how you doing? Good to see you. There you go. Yeah, that's how that stuff goes. Let me see here. King Cryptid, yes, 5 through 9 on Indiegogo. Check it out. It is some absolutely insane stuff. Insane stuff, man. And Pete, I did some fun videos for Pete about like faux documentary stuff of King Cryptid going through stuff. But it's like, you look at these guys, man, and it's like, holy cow. It's they have worked so hard to build all of this stuff. And to make Comicsgate what it is. And I am very, very grateful for what John has done, for what Ethan has done, what all those folks have done. And yeah, just tremendous guys, and a lot of just flack that they've been through. It's craziness. And so, it's like it was funny, Eric was talking about this print book, and I had no idea. I was like, I wonder if I'm going to be hey, what's up, Scottsley? How are you doing? Great to see you. Yeah, have it down. Uh-oh, I'm missing something. Oh, here we go. I missed the first. Timmy, I'm sorry. I missed the first part of that. Like an assembly line of creating just about everything in content, comics, entertainment, etc. It's never easy as well, to put yourselves out there regularly, but EVS, Shane, and Coach definitely. Yeah, they have it down. They 100% have it down, and they carry a lot. There you go, man. John. You know how it goes. Let me see here. Oh, crap. Are my links not showing up as links, you guys? I feel like I lost... No, you have your wrench powers. I can see it here. You do. You do have your wrench powers, man. JWK creates... You're on in the middle of the day, Shanth? Yes, I know. I haven't done a middle of the day stream because, gosh, being sick really threw me into a tailspin. I'm usually up during the day and up all night. And, one of the things that that has been kind of funny about it is that I got thrown off, and so I started. Well, a big part of it was I was just coughing all day, and that took me out of my sort of rhythm of doing streams. But yeah, now I'm going to get into a much I always say that. I always threaten I'm going to get into a much more regular rhythm. God knows, it's like, how's the shipping going? I'll give you a great example of, and you guys know this. I'm not saying this, by the way. I'm not saying this to whine, as we used to say in my household growing up. Somebody called the wambulance. I don't know how many of you guys heard that before, but probably a few, depending on what generation you are. But I was getting ready to drop a bunch of books off at the post office, and loaded the car up, and then as soon as I went in there, the car had died because I'm guessing somebody had left one of the doors of the car open, like slightly, so the light was on. And so I'm calling AAA, waiting to get jumped because there's no other car at home to jump myself with there. But then if there was, I would have taken that car anyway. And I just was like, but this is a part of it. This is a part of the relentless nature of it. Whatever you have planned, I always say, no matter what is going on, no matter how hard it is, you got to remember, and it's really important, you got to remember that you save 10% in the back of your mind for the what ifs, because they do come up, you know? I still say to this day, Ethan needs to write a book on his 30 years, yes, in mainstream and Comicsgate. There's a lot of compelling battles as well as laughs to read on, yeah, at Duck Bacon. Yeah, absolutely. I see your link, Rocky. There it is. I got Shanth a sub. Yeah, that's reverse. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly right. Yeah. That's hilarious, brother. Yeah, man, it's yeah, it's a crazy thing, right? It was a crazy thing. It was a crazy thing to watch all of the cancel culture stuff, all the anti-free speech stuff, especially because, you know, as I remember, you know, when I was in academia, the thing that blew my mind about it the most was, like, I had whiplash because so many people were going on and on just a few years earlier about, you know, the whole Je suis Charlie thing. And then, like, within 5 seconds later, they were silencing people's speech. And I remember thinking, oh, well, this is very rock and roll and artist of you. But yeah, I hate cancel culture. I hate all of that shit. And when I came into Comicsgate, the thing that was, again, that was really cool about it was, you know, that there were people who were actually just talking about the work and silly maniacs. And it actually reminded me of what college used to be. I feel really sad for folks who are going to college and not having the opportunity to just be human beings, you know, and to not have, you know, anything they do in their lives just blasted out to social media, you know, and that goes for teachers too. You know, that goes for teachers too. You know, it's the stuff that we do here. And the work that you do as a teacher and the work that you do as a student is not about getting attention. There's just so many people, you know, who it's just they need attention. Attention is a hell of a drug. And they come off to school or they come into spaces and their whole modus operandi is to come in and get as much attention on themselves as possible instead of working. And it's a very strange thing because, you know, it's like, I don't know how to describe it. But that's one of the things I've become incredibly aware of and guarded about, because I'm just like, look, man, I work my ass off. I make great work. And I actually really care about my audience. I care about people who come in. Yeah, go to college and learn to be indoctrinated. And this is the crazy thing, right? There were so many people who had different opinions and, you know, and had so many different things going on. And that's kind of what it should be. You know, not kind of what it should be. It's what it should be. But the main thing was, how good is your work? That was the main thing. And people, the worst thing you could do. Rumafe is so mean. Oh no, what did Rumafe say? I'm not mean, John. There you go. Yes, one of the many reasons I left teaching last year. Yep, I left teaching to come in here because I realized I couldn't be around whoever I wanted to be around, and I couldn't do work that I wanted to do in that kind of environment because they have a very twisted view of it. You know, it's the neo-Marxist, postmodernist insanity that's kind of taken it over. And it's alarming to me. It's always been alarming to me what people don't know about that stuff. I mean, it still is crazy to me. Like, people look at you like you're an alien, and I'm like, I have a master's degree in illustration, so I'm not unaware of what they're teaching and what this stuff is about. And I also taught at 3 different colleges. But yeah, if you need to feel mildly nauseous, yeah, dip down into Foucault's Wikipedia page and take a look at some of his stances. Yeah, involving certain things. And I'll do a rhyme to avoid YouTube's wrath. To say his views on page of content, and I'll let you fill in the blanks. Him, Jean-Paul Sartre, and Foucault and Derrida, all in 1977, signed a paper that is had an opinion that is so horrific that you can't even believe that anybody could think it's anything other than depraved and insane. And you see that kind of thing as it forces its way into a culture. It's useful to know where that shit came from. And so I see that kind of stuff and I go, here's what I realized one could do. Oh my gosh, don't you worry. I'll take care of it, man. I will absolutely take care of it. But this is the thing. 26 watching. Yeah, let's get those likes up, man. That's what we do here. That, my friends, is what we do. But I sit back and I go, when I look at all this stuff, is that it really is about your action. It really is about what you're doing. It's about the skill. And there was this there's this gentleman that I taught with for a while who was talking about this sort of movement that happened, which was de-skilling and having everything be about politics. And politics, period. Like, politics is where art goes to die. I had a student one time say to me, and it cracked me up. He goes, don't you think that all horror is political? And I went, no. I do think to a hammer, everything is a nail. So to political people, everything is political. But I said, but to be honest, all politics is horror. And he bust out laughing. I mean, if you live too long in around political people, you'll rip your hair out, man. And that means, you guys know what I'm talking about. The Office busybody. The person who can't stop talking about politics. It's just exhausting, man. It's like, okay, I got it, I'm out. I'd much rather hear people talk about things like civics and actually knowing some history than people, spouting that stuff off. But when somebody is talking to you about skill, when I'm watching somebody, it's never dawned on me when I was looking at the work of Mary Blair or Tyrus Wong or oh my God, I can't believe I'm blanking on them. The Hughes brothers, or Brian Stelfree's my mentor, for God's sake. I've never thought of anything other than they have skills that I wish to possess. And people who are interested in skill, that's what draws them in. That's what draws their dollar. You know what I mean? And you have to kind of realize that people who are working all day and have jobs want relief from their entertainment. They don't want to go home and spend time with the office busybody they can't stand. And it's too much of entertainment has been seized by that, and I think that's why people aren't watching it. That's why people aren't into it. Got a lot of people who are busybodies without skill, and they've taken over, and it's and granted, these things aren't going to last, but you don't want somebody who doesn't understand a thing running a thing like an expert. It's not how it works. And I always like the fact that there are experts around me who know things that I don't know at all, that take over things. Like when I go to the dentist, I mean, hopefully I can be like, you've got this, dog. You've got this, dog. And I don't want to go to see the dentist and have him sort of, I had this funny joke because they started this trend. This is how freaking ridiculous Marxist, postmodernist, feminist theory is a subcategory of that, and all theories of the social sciences, which are not sciences. To be clear, that's like the worst thing ever to call that science. But they started this thing where they go, do you know there's the Marxist, there's an inherent power imbalance between the critiquer and the critique-ee. And I went, yeah, it's actually not a power balance. It should be a competency balance. Now, don't get me wrong. I've worked with some people to where it's not a competency unbalance. They really don't know what the hell they're doing. And I've worked with some people who are great. But when I went into Stelfreeze's studio, we never had negotiations over who was right. That never came up, oddly. But I remember saying, so you're telling me when I go to get my flu shot from the doctor, or I go and get my blood drawn, I should go, well, in order for this to be equal, I need to draw your blood too. What the hell is wrong with people? It's so laughable, man. I don't want... another joke I've had for a long time about the comic industry is, versus the manga industry is, there got to be a point where early in my teaching career, people were asking, God, it's been going on so long, why is the comic book industry dead? And I said, because the only people who are going to comic conventions and are interested in comics are people who are aspiring to be comic book artists and writers. And you can't sustain an industry where your audience wants to work in the field one-to-one. You can't. You have to have actual fans. It's wild. Glasses just fell off my nose, which there's no reason for my glasses to fall off my nose. My nose is substantial. I have, sorry, Mark's music obsession. I have a specific piece that I want you to do specifically for me with a Shanth twist. I would want to it to be a larger size to hang in my main room. Wow, someday I'll get the nerve to ask you for a quote. You can always ask me for a quote. Just hit me up, man. Yeah, I paint large scale acrylics, as you know, like the painting behind me, the hang in there cat painting. Let me see. I had to read The Jungle for school. The author intended the book to praise communism, but it instead led to a pure, yes, to the Pure Food and Drug Act. There you go. Wow, that's a trip. Yeah, there's some weird histories out there. Any tips on growing an art business? Wow. I'm fairly early into it, and I figured I'd ask since you're in that niche. Wow, that's a good question. Let me think on that. Maybe your head is shrinking. Yeah, yeah, I wish. My head is getting fatter and fatter. Glass is so thick that the gravity dragged him down, old man Sean. Yeah, you ain't kidding, man. So here's my biggest advice, right? My biggest advice for anybody is, and you'll be useful more places, is focus on the skill and be in environments where people who are skilled don't have the patience or the, I should say the patience or the disinterest to humor you. Find people who are going to... Wait, I missed your super chat? You said a super chat? What the hell? Where did I miss it? I missed a super chat. The hell? Okay, I gotta go to the stream here. Did I miss something? Yeah, justice for... Where the heck is it? How far? Oh, sorry. I got it. I'm coming. Where is it? Dang, I really missed it. Super chat, add to the broadcast from Rocky Ballesteros on behalf of Think About What You Think About. Thank you so much. How did I miss that? I've got glasses, apparently. Good Lord. Thank you so much. And of course, as we do around here, let me send some cheerleaders your way. Charge! Charge! So you got our regular cheerleaders, you got our Waffle Lodge cheerleaders. So now you have been taken care of, my friend. You have absolutely been taken care of. So yeah, I apologize on behalf of the hotel. Yeah, darn you, Ecamm. Yeah, it does show them differently, but that's no excuse. It's not like it's my first time streaming on Ecamm, for heaven's sake. You know, it's I should have it down better by now. But yeah, man, it's I was listening to some old interviews with Johnny Rotten and then some recent sort of statements. John Lydon, for those of you who are wondering. And I was thinking, yeah, like when did musicians become so freaking political and such a part of the establishment and the talking points? And I do sometimes think that when it comes to art businesses and when it comes to all of that stuff, I'll tell you a really good piece of advice is center it on your craft, center it on and be enthusiastic. Be enthusiastic about what you're doing. And the other thing is that this is going to be harder and harder to find today. Another reason why I feel bad for people going to college in general right now and art school. People confuse their work with themselves way too much, and that's that whole auteur theory poison. That if you have an interesting personality, that's going to make your work more interesting. Or if you're, if you make your artwork all about you, that's going to make, of course, your artwork, it's what you make, but it's not you. And that, of course, made the critique process be about, you're attacking the person and you're not attacking the product. It's weird. I see a lot of people who will complain about getting something that is, not up to scratch, who would also not want to be judged. And you kind of have to walk a fine line. Like, there's some people who just want to throw a lot of shade, and that's always going to happen. So it's like, again, hold on to your hats there, if that's a thing. But hopefully you have a developmental phase, as an artist and as a creator where you have people who are objective and really interested in seeing you grow as an artist. And if you don't rise to that level that's expected, that's professional, they're going to let you know. And, you know, and I'm not even talking about, you know, all of the other stuff you have to do if you're doing your own art business. Like, that's different. I mean to say the product itself, if the product itself doesn't look good, you know, and it's crazy. Yeah, all they draw is themselves. I am utterly disinterested in myself, you know. Peace out, John. John, you heading out? Take care, brother. God bless you, my friend. And I'm absolutely, once I finish this stream, I will take a second to pray for you and your brother, 100%. God bless him. May he rest in peace. Yeah, take care, John. Yeah, lots of good people here, man. Yeah, all artists today draws themselves, right? All artists draw today is themselves. But they also, here's the thing, when you don't draw well, you have a lot of time to gossip and throw shade at other people. And so that's another thing. Keeping people who aren't busy and keeping people whose favorite subject isn't themselves away from you will change your life. I would much rather talk about what inspires me. I'd much rather talk about all of that stuff than talk about, you know, myself and all of that thing. Except for, you know, again, in jest, you know, it's we have our fun stuff that we do here. I think that's why what it was so creepy about you know, to people about, you know, Comicsgate and Ethan and everybody coming on the stream. They're like, wait a second, these people don't think like us. And actually, I think it started before then. I think it started before then. I mean, I've maintained for at least I think personally, and I'm not here to tell him what his story is the email you want to give for questions about paintings commission. Oh, don't put that up. No, not that one. Not that one. Shh. That's just one that goes out to some special people. I don't know if she wants that one out there. Don't use that one. You guys are cracking me up. What's up, Diesel? Oh my god, that's hilarious. That cracks me up. I'm gonna rib her about that when she gets home. Here's one you could definitely hit up for that. And let me put this in the chat. Where is it? Let me see. This is the missus. Let me see here. I hope I typed that in right. But yeah, this is... No! Eric. No worries. We are good. Oh my lord. It's so funny. You guys are the best, man. You guys are the best. You crack me up so much. But yeah, absolutely, feel free to hit her up there because she knows how many plates I'm spinning right now. She's an amazing artist in her own right, and she is just awesome as a human being. And I will say that, yeah, and Diesel's my brother, man. Diesel's my brother. He knows. Yeah, I mean, it's so great to see so many crazy kindred spirits out and about, and we've built something really great here, you know, and I think that's the other thing too. John Malin and Ethan Van Sciver and all of those guys, and particularly what we refer to as the Malin method, they really outlined, and that's actually what I would really say. If you want to know how to start up an art business, to the previous commenter there, two people I would absolutely take a look at who would be great to look at for this stuff. Actually, three. I'll add a third. I would look at John Malin, and wherever he talks about the Malin method. I would look at Pete Cimetti for sure, because Pete's great in the comic front. And then I would look at, and while they're a huge outfit, they started very small. Look at the history of Townsend's and their 18th century YouTube channel, which now has, I think, 2,300,000 subscribers. But it started as a small mom and pop business out of Indiana. His father started this business, and they're inspirational to me, man. Excellent, great, love it. Let me see here. Yeah, there you go. Let's see what else we've got here. Hi, Duck Bacon. Miss you guys. I'm just making sure I got everybody in here. What's up, Ferris Comics channel member? It's great to see you, man. Oh my gosh. Heidi. You don't know about Townsend's? You know about Townsend's. Come on. Oh, that's great, because my dad's friends, unfortunately, most of them aren't in my life anymore. Oh, that's unfortunate. Found some new mentors that have helped me improve. That is fantastic. Yes, just Google or go to Heidi. Open another window and type in Townsends.com. They are, they were written up about, all over the world, because they do 18th century cooking, and they do incredibly high quality content. They have their own website and channel. So they actually have I want them to build an app. That's the very next thing that they need to do, is to have an app that you can get on your Apple TV or your, what are all the things that called, the Samsung or whatever, the Roku, or so that you can watch it on your television without having to go to the internet section of it. But they do incredible work. And I can't even imagine the success of their business. But here's the thing that's so fun, right? There's my man, Pete Cimenti. You found it. Awesome, Heidi. Heidi, if you are ever needing a pick-me-up, or you just want to watch people cook some outstanding food, I love watching people cook. That channel has years of content. And they actually, the theme song for the show that they play, or one of the songs they play when they do live streams, is by this husband and wife couple. Their band is named Jim's Red Pants, but neither one of them is named Jim. And they do this amazing violin and fiddle music. They can play the hurdy-gurdy. They're incredible musicians and artists, and they really kickstarted me getting excited about taking violin lessons and learning the violin. So I love Rick and Hillary. They're terrific people. And again, a lot of craftspeople. One of my favorite moments ever. They need to build it. Oh no, Crenshaw. I was doing so well, not coughing. If they build an app using 18th century tools, impressive. 100%. Oh my gosh. All right, take care, Gene. We'll see you later. Yeah, right on, man. Let me see here. Yeah, it's Townsend's is 100% crazy. And yeah, Pete Cimenti's Comic Book Radio is great. John Malin's YouTube channel is great. Yeah, he is there. Yeah, for art auctions, all different stuff. Yeah, absolutely right. Yeah, peace out, indeed. Look at this great group of folks. So here's what I would say, man. When it comes to Townsend's, and when it comes to what they're doing there was this one time, I think it was around July 3rd. It was like, these guys are the real deal. And they went to, I can't believe I'm blanking on the name, but they went to George Washington's house, his historical house, which I am so embarrassed I can't remember it right now. I'm so freaking tired. Or my brain is tired, I should say. I'm not tired. And there was this drink that he used to enjoy called an Orange Fool. And it went, yeah, the clothing is wild too, 100%. Their YouTube channel is great. Absolutely great. And they, the recipe was an Orange Fool. They recorded it, like a lot of things they record when they're on location, and it was scheduled to come out. They were not thinking about anything going on. And of course, their comment section turned into a political you-know-what show. It was just ridiculous. And Mount Vernon, thank you, Mount Vernon. God, I can't believe I couldn't think of that. Thank you, Eric Huffles, you freaking legend. And this is the thing, right? And John posted a video, and it was called I'm Frustrated. And he goes, we will keep that stuff out of our comment section. And if you're a mod, he was like, keep this stuff out of our comment section. I do not care about politics. We are not a political channel. If you want politics, you got a whole YouTube out there. Go talk politics out there. And he goes, I was so disappointed to see, it's something, he was like very dad. He goes, I was so disappointed to see so many long time subscribers, to thinking that I was taking a shot, or that we were either taking a shot or something at a political figure with some kind of, this is how political people and gossip see the world. Everything has a subtext because everything they do and say has a subtext to it. Everything is positioning chess pieces on a board, so when they meet somebody, they're like, what can this person do for me? How can this person get me things? And so they make you them. They say everything has a secret subtext. Sometimes it doesn't. A lot of times it doesn't. And that's the world they live in. And John just called it out, and I was really happy to see that because he did it in a very professional way. And he's like, we're going to keep doing what we're doing. Keep that stuff, truck that, someplace else. We're not doing it. And I love it, man. Yes. American politics is cancer. I know it's bad in other countries, but it's so bad here. Well, here's the thing. It's never good. Politics are never good. Now, civics are great. Civics is wonderful. I could talk about civics all day, like how this country works, our rights, and what's important, blah, blah. And history, which is what they do at 18th century history. But people have no concept of American history. When you start looking at the 18th century living, yeah, exactly. It's true. That's what they say right? It's such a cliche. When I think about living in the 18th century, I do not think of it as being simpler times. I think that is so dangerous, I probably wouldn't last. And they really bring that home. The idea that this incredible place that we have the opportunity to be on. I had family from India come here once. And we were picking them up in Atlanta. And this was way back when I was a kid. And I remember them just being like, you guys, these streets are crazy. This highway is crazy. Where do you guys get all of this concrete? How do you have so much concrete and so much paving material that is 5 or 6 lanes wide and it goes on and on? And it's so clean. Even our dirtiest highways, they're like, everything is so clean. Context is important, guys. Context is important. I did not realize how much freedom I gave up when I went to art school and then when I started working on it, in it, until I got out of it. So we're talking about from the age of 17 into 18 is when I went off to college, to when I was, I guess, a couple of years ago, 2 years ago maybe. And I went, wow, there's so much stuff I can't paint. So much stuff I can't say or do that has to do with their politics. So here's a bit of advice I will tell you. Never trust anybody who uses the expression, we need to get you out of your comfort zone, as a veneer over the fact that they're trying to get you to climb into their tiny little comfort zone. No. Don't ever buy it for a second. Like, the whole idea of comfort zone is ridiculous. We have to have some uncomfortable conversations. People will say. It's like, we need to have some uncomfortable conversations. Okay, you're a jerk? Is that uncomfortable for you? Or do you mean just uncomfortable in the way you feel comfortable? Designed to kind of make me feel like it's so ridiculous. Ignore those people. Yeah. Give not a second of your time, not a second of your thoughts to the opinions of people who despise you. Don't do it. It is the easiest thing for how to survive any of this crazy stuff, which is have actual friends in your life who are invested in you as a person. And let political people know you don't roll that way. Send them on their way as soon as they bring that stuff into your life, because it's not worth it, Well, what do we got here from Diesel? Oh yeah, Diesel, you missed this earlier, and please don't put this, please don't put this in the chat just because. Gotta run. Take care, brother. It's great to see you, Rocky. But do yourself a favor and go to postmodernist, brain trust genius Foucault, and just keep reading until you get down to his some of his personal political opinions, and you'll see how all that stuff is absolutely terrifying. And then you realize all the other postmodernist people signed a paper about it in 1977. It's pretty terrifying. But yeah, there's some messed up stuff. And here's the thing about it, right? Here's the thing about it. Political people see everybody as a pawn on a chessboard. And if you see people who view the world that way, yeah, later to my brother Rocky, man. Later to my brother Rocky. It's depressing. It is depressing, Yeah, believe me, Duck Bacon, I lose myself at postmodern, man. Oh my lord. Yeah. But it's if you are around people who are political, hyper political, the best thing I could tell you is find the people. Yeah, that's a sure cure for stress and anxiety. Find the people who aren't, because if you had told me, because my wife loves to knit and crochet and loves all that stuff, she loves fiber arts. If you had told me political people were going to come in and burn down the knitting industry, I wouldn't have believed you back in the day. I would go, the knitting, who cares? What is up, Dear Man's YouTube channel? Hello to you, my friend. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Yeah. But most young people now have no idea how to be humble in any capacity. You know what is funny? Is that I think that there is a pendulum swing that's happening. By the way, my favorite non-humble line ever, Irma Faye, I love this. I say this all the time to make my wife cackle. She just laughs her head off. I look at her and I go, baby, I'm humble because I stumble. I'm humble because I stumble. I love the idea. I love the inherent genius in it, which is to say that I have to be humble because occasionally when I'm idling at perfection, I stumble. Do you know what I mean? I like to think of myself as being a modest man with much to be modest about. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, humility, I'm finding, is as rare as wisdom. Well, it's true. And by the way, humility is, I think, walks hand in hand with the wisdom that we get. It walks hand in hand with it. It's weird. What was that famous quote that made me snort? I'm humble because I stumble. Use it all the time. It's great. You haven't experienced inability until you've debated a stoner up on postmodern. Yeah, that is a fun one. But I heard a great. What was the quote? It's a famous quote. Experience is what you get when you didn't get what you were trying for. I love that quote. It's a really great one because it's really true. Like, any experience that you're going to get in this world is not going to be from things going well. You're certainly not going to get any comedy out of it. I don't know, like, how often, you have an entertaining evening with a bunch of people talking about all of their dating and relationship successes. You know what I mean? Or all of your art successes. I will tell you, okay, let me tell you a story about, a truly painful, embarrassing, when I was trying to get work as an artist and showing my portfolio around story. So I'm humble because I stumble. I was trying to get work as a comic book artist, and I was going to comic conventions. And I was so precious about my artwork, and I thought it was so important that people see originals and not photocopies, that I had this gigantic portfolio. You could have glided off of your house with this portfolio. It was so big when this thing was open. And I was bringing my stuff around. The guy in front of me had all of these really neatly photocopied originals, because this is before printing and scanning, because I'm ancient. And he was showing this to people, and I had this giant portfolio. And I was just thinking, like, I've got this artwork, it's original, it's going to be great. And so this editor is sitting there at this table in front of me. You guys are going to feel vicarious embarrassment and laughter. This is going to hurt. Just know this. And I apologize on behalf of the hotel. It's going to hurt. The editor is sitting there in front of me, and he's like, hi, whoa, that's a big portfolio. And I was like, well, I wanted to make sure I could show my originals. And he's like, okay, fair enough. I unzip the portfolio. It flops open on the table. It hits his cup of coffee. His cup of coffee falls over. The coffee pours off the table and into his bag. Into his leather bag he was carrying with him, with all of his work stuff in it. He just looked at me, and I said, I am so sorry. He's like, I gotta take care of this. And I just closed my portfolio, walked away from the table, and I just was like, I never used that portfolio again, man. I never used that portfolio. You ain't kidding, Mark. You ain't kidding. So again, would people like to hear me tell a story about a time I got a job? Yeah, sure. I'm happy to tell those stories. Those can be fun stories too. You know, when you get work, and those are always bizarre. But those are the stories that people hear and they go, "All right, you got some experience." That's how you get experience. Oh, you ain't kidding. You ain't kidding. It was rough. It was rough. It was rough. Yeah, you know. You know. One day I will share with you, as I like to share it, but not today. I can't handle this one today. How I learned how to not, yeah, how I learned how to not talk smack about professionals' work when you're trying to break into the industry. That's another great one. Yeah, I used to teach my students that all the time because it's like someone who is going to hire you. Any industry is so small, which is why I think the gossip network and the kind of leftist insanity, was so poisonous to it. The industry is small, and you really don't have to do inside of a political industry, a very hyper political, and I mean office politics industry. You don't have to work very hard to turn everybody against somebody and cancel somebody, which to me is, again, the cancel pigs, like horrendous. Diesel. Diesel, it's true. It's true. Yeah, people are just going to run their mouths. And if you're not in charge of that space, like, right, if you don't have any power over the culture of the place that you're in, which is why it's Shanth Enjeti Art, and I am the manager. But that's why it is what it is because I'm not interested in creating another place for those folks to take over. And anything that you don't own, and any place that you are not, and even when you are, you saw, John Malin and those guys getting canceled off of various, platforms for, crowdfunding like Kickstarter and things like that. Like the people still try to bring a lot of hell into your life who are twisted that way, who are broken in that particular way. But it doesn't take a lot to do that kind of damage. And I said, so why would somebody who's an aspiring high school or college student want to talk about, like, weigh in online about, especially online? Think about this. This was before the internet, was everywhere in social media. People who are aspiring artists who talk crap about professionals are out of their minds. I don't understand that. And it may seem kind of fun, but on some level, but if you're aspiring to get into that work, you just don't do it because, I seldom do it. And if you're a professional, I mean, people do whatever they want to do when they're a professional. They're weapons free on each other. Go for it. And there's certain professionals that I wouldn't be fond of because of the way they act, and I wouldn't have any problem with a direct question. But I'm almost 50 years old now, guys. And even now, I kind of just get to the point to where I'm like going, man, maybe I should be able to say something about academia and how it works. But I used to say when I taught, because this is the way I was raised, I go, as successful as my class is, I didn't found this institution. I didn't lay these bricks in this building. So I have a responsibility to be a good custodian. If more people thought that way about, this country, and that's not a political thing, that's a civics lesson, or the art form, or the freedom of speech we have as creators, we'd be in a better place right now. But I will tell you, it starts with the skills. I'll be real with you. If somebody's politics don't agree with mine and they're a great artist, I really do not care unless they come at me about something stupid. Yeah. To me, Mello, humility is, it's all about listening to the people who work above you on the way up the ladder or of a profession. Yeah. And if you think you know more than them, like, also, what's the fun in that? What's the fun in never learning? Also, not insulting or stepping on the people lower than you on the ladder as you climb up. 100%. Yeah. Yeah, I noticed that about people. You do notice all the people who treat you well. I try never to linger too much on the negative experiences, but I do remember all of the people who were kind to me when they didn't have to be. And yeah, that I can only pay it forward. That is all I can do, is pay it forward, and I just feel very grateful for all of those folks, and I feel grateful to Comicsgate. And I really did feel like it was important to put the folks in Comicsgate who've really supported me And that goes for you crypt walkers too. One of the thank yous in the back of my book says, thank you to all my crypt walkers, past and present, all of you channel members who have done this incredible service to my family, so that with your super chats, with your channel memberships, it goes to buying brushes. It goes to buying brushes and paper, things like this. Yeah. Shanth turned white and is still white to this day. It's true. We've known this. It was such a good message. You had to do it twice. I agree. Yeah. I mean, look, I'm not. Whom among us doesn't agree with the great Diesel, man? You know I do. Diesel's my brother. Diesel is an honorary Indian, Austrian, Puerto Rican. There, I said it. You know, I'm going to tell my daughter about you. She loves art. Oh, that's wonderful, Heidi. And do tell your daughter I said hello. And if she is an artist, an aspiring artist, tell her I said keep up the work, keep up the good work. I started doing my artwork. You know, it was I just drew. I didn't even know it was art was a thing. And I always love hearing about people getting into it, because if it wasn't for older artists helping, we can't help our daughter with, classical dance and, how to play an instrument. We don't know how to do those things. So we're always dependent on other people to pass these skills down, because here's another thing about the arts and why the history is so important and the mentorship and knowledge is so important. You can't take it with you, and you can't keep it. You can't hire an artist's intelligence or creativity and then, fire them or have them retire and have it stay at the institution. You're seeing this happen with the Walt Disney Company, with the loss of so many Imagineers that have gone to Universal Studios now. You see it you see it with Pixar Studios. You don't have, picking up so much paint, you don't have a lot of people with these skills, and they're very valuable. And when you burn them out, or you make them feel like, why should I be here? Or make them think, why should I be here? And they leave, you cannot get them back. And you can't suddenly train them. You can't suddenly because you've got to find them over time. You've got to find the people who can paint, the people who can be positive. It's important. Here we go. Add to the broadcast, The Mythicals, #2 by Hojo. The Mythicals are back for more supernatural action on fundmycomic.com. And by the way, speaking of how you go out into the world, and speaking of, to the point of how you treat people and what you do with your work, let me just say, as a point of pride, the Fund My Comic logo and the banner on the homepage, that little design, was me taking the logo, the initial logo, and just doing a little fun kind of cleanup for it, and they ended up using it. So that was something that I did just for fun, for free, because I was doing a trailer for one of Narwhal's books that was on there. So yeah, I mean, I'm a big believer in putting the time in, and working your tail off to make things better. Yeah. Oh, don't even get me started. Yeah, 100%. Yeah. That was a witch hunt. Like, there's a couple of things that I would have never believed when I was young, and the weirdest one is this idea of resenting the people who were your childhood heroes and needing them to be exposed is terrible. I don't, because people, and I understand that it just became a thing, but when I hear the expression "never meet your heroes," I always go, don't say that, because it's presupposing that you can't be that the fact that they're human beings is going to be a problem for you, but also that all experiences are going to be terrible. My biggest childhood hero ever was Todd McFarlane, and I met him, and he was wonderful to me as a fan, and he probably changed the course of my life. And he could have given me a much, much tougher time. A much tougher time in my life and he didn't have to be perfect. It wasn't on him. But I was at a really tough point at that point in my life and feeling very hopeless. And he could have broken me. He could have been a jerk, maybe. Or not broken me, but he could have really hurt me. But he was so nice. It was amazing. It was again, I hate to say this, but wind beneath my wings, but it was. Absolutely was. And what a great guy. And I think one of the things that we're learning right now, which is so unfortunate, is that but it's a product of just the way a generation or a lot of people have been taught to think, is that a lot of the bitterness and anger that built up at John Lasseter at Pixar was the fact that he is ruthless about critiquing people's work and saying this isn't good enough. That is the Pixar method, and that's exactly what the method was with Walt Disney, and he knew that. He studied that method, and so people wanted him to be this cartoon character who was like, John Lasseter from the promo videos, and they couldn't reconcile that with John Lasseter, the person who built Pixar. I mean, how much smarter does he have to be? It's like going to my dentist and my dentist saying, "Shanth, you have a cavity," and me going, "Why do you hate me?" It's like, if I hated you, I'd tell you didn't have a cavity. See how that works out for you. It's wild, man. What is up? Oh, Eric Weathers, they do. Eric, let me tell you something, my friend. Let me tell you something. Thank you. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to inhabit this amazing world that you and Zeb have created with Battle Brick Road. And it's continuing with Battle Brick Road 2. And the link, as you guys know, to Battle Brick Road is in the description, but in the description, right under the link to my store, is the link to the poster and print book that is going to have an 11x17 print of this image. So if you see this painting and you go, I want a Shanth Enjeti art print on my wall, the first opportunity you're going to have to get that, an 11x17 print of one of my paintings, is in the poster book. It's really a print book, and it's bound so that you can take the posters out, or you can keep it as a large 11x17 and just look at the beautiful collection of artwork, which features Eric Weathers, of course, the great Eric Weathers. Never get it twisted, ever. And then, of course, my Grosse Pointe Dank himself, Dan Lawless, my brother from Grosse Pointe Woods, Michigan childhood. Shout out to him. So many amazing artists are going to be in that book. Rod Looper, I think, is going to be in this book. I'm trying to think of all the folks who are going to be in the book. Eric can let you know. But if you haven't backed it yet, it is the second link in the description of this video. So do check it out. It's great. And I thank him for giving me the opportunity, to work with these characters. And actually, let me do this. Hold on a second here. While I've got the man in the house, let me play this because I want to. That's the way that it's got to be. So here we go. Let's play this.
You think you are free, that your decisions are your own. Tell me honestly, did you really choose this path? Or was it chosen for you? Your father, with every triumph, every failure, was it not his decisions that brought you here? Has his path not sealed your own? Marked out in golden bricks below your very feet. The path is set. Keep your head up. Keep your weapon loaded. Follow the Battle Brick Road.
And Battle Brick Road 2 has just crossed $37,000 on that campaign, but we can do better. I want everybody to think about this. Battle Brick Road 1 hit, and I'm certain this will be the case. Battle Brick Road 1 hit 100K. And this book and its artwork is incredible, and it is something that is utterly age appropriate for young readers and old readers. It's a great adventure story. It doesn't have any action or violence in it that goes, certainly not to the level of most manga out there, but that goes beyond your typical comic book. And if you are looking to get for one of the kids in your life, one of the people someone who loves comics, a book, Battle Brick Road 1 and 2 are both available on the website, and there's all this great stuff. There's all this great swag and cool stuff, t-shirts, sketchbooks, art books, Operation Zephyr. Highest recommendation, guys. Highest recommendation for a great all ages reader book. And if you like action, adventure, and shockingly in the world of Comicsgate. You got to catch us later. Was a great daytime stream. Thank you so much, Mark's Music Obsession. You're not going to miss too much because I'm going to be wrapping up soon. Yeah, it's Wizard of Oz with guns. Yeah, it's Wizard of Oz, but action. And it is absolutely perfect. Take care, my brother Mark. It is great to see you, man. And so I do have to tell you, don't miss that opportunity to get this book. It's a great one. It's a great one. And I thank Eric for being the letterer of Nosferatu the Cryptwalker. So here's a look at the way the overall painting is coming together. We're getting that composition. This is the main chimp face that I want to paint here so everybody can see it. I appreciate you guys so much for being here. I have not updated, you can hear my voice is going, I forgot to update the channel members list, so I'm going to update it and post a channel members video of just the credits once I'm done here. Shout out to my man John, and I'll be keeping him in my thoughts and everything like that. And thank you guys for being here. Thank you for making these streams so fun. Thank you for supporting me. Thank you to my brother Eric Weathers. Thank you to my channel members on Cryptwalkers, Aruma Faye, Mark's Music Obsession, all of you guys, Eric Huffles, and Indeed. Let's see who else I've got here. My man Diesel, Timmy Mello, channel member Rockstar. It's great to see you, brother. Let me see if there's anybody in here that I've missed who's a channel member. I know I said hi to everybody at the start, but I just wanted to make sure if I can see anybody who I may have missed. But thank you guys so much for being here. I appreciate you guys. John Causey, it's good to see you, man. The Wayback Machine, my brother. How are you doing, pal? Love you, man. I hope you're still strong. Oh, I got to tell you this, John, before I go. You guys know how it is. You know me. I'm like, I still do a very southern goodbye. You know, it's going to take a little bit of time. John, my daughter has been learning how to play the guitar and the electric guitar and the piano. So she's playing songs and she's into it. And it made me think of you, man. Made me think of all those times when we were coming up in Chattanooga and I'd hang out in your dorm room and you guys were playing the guitar and doing your thing, you know. And it was awesome. So much love to you, brother, from the Wayback Machine, man. Gotta love it. Yeah, I love YouTube. I love the stuff we're doing here, guys. Let's stay positive. Let's keep working our tails off. You know, and as I always say, and you guys know this well, as I sign off, speak easy, stay gold, keep the faith, and peace, because that is what Shanth means. So thank you guys so much. Shout out to my channel members. I will be posting the updated channel members credit list once I'm done here. So thank you guys so much. Take care. Have a wonderful day. God bless you all.